and welcome back. I told you it was a bonus video coming. Here it is. That same crust we made earlier, we're going to use it, but we're going to use it a whole nother way. Something that you're not used to, but I guarantee you and your family will love it. What we're making is a sweet potato pie, of course. We just wanted to change up the way that you've seen the crust. So, now that we got that out the way, we're going to work all the way through this. Step by step. First thing we need is about maybe 2.5 to 2 to 3/4 of sweet potatoes. Nice size, almost 2 pounds, roughly around that range. You're really not going to use the whole thing, but what you want to do is you want to cook it like you were making some of the best candy yams ever. You know what I mean? Think about it like it's Thanksgiving when you do it. Now, when you do it, you cook them, you get them all the way through, they soft, you're going to have to drain them off. But now that the flavor's cooked into it, it's already there. Once you take them and drain them, you mash them up really, really good just to make sure that everything in it is almost smooth, because you still got a lot more mixing to do. But the next thing you want to add to it is 2 whole eggs and 1 egg yolk. So as you see here, I have the 2 whole eggs and an extra egg yolk. Drop that batter in. Next thing we add into it will be our 5 ounces of condensed milk. Of course, we all know what condensed milk is. That good old Pat or Carnation, however you call it. You're only using 5 ounces, but I have 12, so we'll run through it as we go along. Next thing we're going to need is 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. But I got a twist for you. Instead of using 3/4 of a cup, use a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar and a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. That way you have everything you need. Next thing you have following that will be 3 tablespoons of pure vanilla extract, as you see here. After that, we have our cornstarch, cinnamon, and nutmeg. But with the cornstarch, I kind of got a flip for you. Say you don't have cornstarch in your house, you can use house flour. What you would need for the cornstarch is 2 tablespoons. But if you're using regular all-purpose flour, it's for every tablespoon, it's 3 teaspoons for every tablespoon of cornstarch. So instead of using 6, dial it back 1 and only use 5. Try to keep it simple because you don't really want that chalky taste in it. Using all-purpose flour will make you have to bake it a little extra longer to make sure it's all cooked out. You're going to have to mix it a little better too when you do it. So FYI, when you substitute something, you should always check what the reactions will be, what the things in soon will come from it. But moving along, because we don't have a lot of time. After that, we use 3 tablespoons of salt. Regular house salt, it's all the same. After that, next thing we're using is 1/3 of a cup of melted butter, but you need it cool. You don't want it hot. Following that, we'll either use a pumpkin pie spice, which, you know, we typically don't touch it too much, especially for a sweet potato. But what you can substitute that with is a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon and a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. And it'll be the same thing as using that pumpkin pie spice, because that's exactly what it's made from, FYI. Now, last thing you need is, of course, your pie shell and its crust. We're making a deep dish, so, you know, we only did the bottom. But, moving along. Now, after we've done everything that we needed to do, the next thing we'll do is start putting our ingredients together. Now, in the bowl, first thing we're going to mix is our eggs, the egg yolk. We're going to take our sweet potatoes, and now we're going to use the evaporated milk. 5 ounces, so you probably need a little less than 1/2 can. Just to keep us even, that's enough for it. But we still need the creamy effect. But we're going to mix this really, really well. You should probably use your mixer. I like to kind of do things the old-fashioned way, and of course use the wire whisk. So mix it up very, very well. Take your time with it, kind of massage it in a little bit. Just work it around and work it through. Everything will work itself out as it's going in. You want it kind of, the texture to be really, really smooth. You don't want to rush this process. Put the love into it, same way you do anything else. If you was taking your time to do something, you know, process always comes out better. But you want to mix it very, very well. Now, once you start to mix it and it gets really creamy to the right, well, almost the right texture, because it's never going to be there until you're actually ready to start putting it in. Keynote, before you actually get started, the first thing you should do Should have been to set your oven to 400, and that's my fault for not telling you sooner. Please bear with me. But now that I'm telling you, make sure your oven is on, because you haven't got all the way through the process of prep work yet. Prep work will take a couple minutes. So make sure your oven is set. Mine is set. I just forgot to tell you, but FYI, make sure your oven is set 400. It's not going to cook at 400 the whole time, but you always want it preheated a little bit more, so when you do have to drop it down, you drop it down just right. And now we're going to add everything else that we didn't add before. The sugar, our cornstarch, the salt, piece by piece. We're going to add our butter, the vanilla, piece by piece. Only thing left is this and this. I would advise you to use the measuring sticks or the measuring cups, whatever you have. Get kind of used to using it and doing it by eye. You know how to do it right. So make sure you do it. When you do it the rest way you can, make sure it evens out just right, because measurement means a lot with this. This is something that's, how can I say, touch delicate. Mixed it all in really, really well. What you really want to do once you get it in, this is where you overdo it, because you want to get it really, really smooth as you can. Take all of the chunks out of it. You don't want it to come like to cook and it comes back really lumpy, or certain spots are done and the other spots aren't. So make sure you mix and mix well. Hope everyone's holidays worked out well for them. This is something I was supposed to drop maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I didn't, and I got quite a few requests for this. So here you go, you got it today. This was your gift on demand. Happy holidays to all that I missed and didn't get to tell. So here we are. Now we're actually about to drop this into this basin. You get to see exactly what you're working with the pie crust, deep dish style. Pour it in, you kind of want to scrape everything around to get as much as you can into it. As you see how it fills up around, we still have our pie crust layer that we made earlier. Great way to get the evening going on. Especially, you know what? This isn't just like winter eats. This is like the thing you think about when you at home with your significant other. Got a little hot chocolate, you want to spike it with some cashew cream, make one of these bad boys, get you in the mood, promise you. Voila. As you see, everything is as it should be. Nice deep dish with a crust at the bottom. And come to think about it, when we do the graham cracker crust, because of course I'm going to walk you through different types of crust, how to make biscuits from scratch, everything using flour. I just wanted to do something short today because I didn't have a lot of time and I got a lot of requests for this. So here you go. Bon appetit. Until we talk later, I hope you enjoyed the bonus vid. Next vid coming soon. Take it easy.